Everybody, and welcome back to the channel. This is the first one on the petrol tank that was put in for cleaning inside out. As you can see, it's cleaned up very nice, resprayed it on the outside. Got a bit more involved in it than what I expected to, but that's life. And going to be changing that petrol tap for this SIP one, which has got obviously the sensor to tell me when we're running low on fuel. So all it's a case of is taking this bolt, undoing the bolt, that bolt there, and putting the other one on, not tightening it totally up. What I've also done is the straps which go around the tank. I've taken all the paint off of them as well, and the next couple of days I'm just going to prime them again with some acid etch primer and spray them up. And the petrol tank will be put in probably over the weekend, so it's Thursday today. I'll probably spray them tomorrow night. It's a bit late now, I've been working and every excuse under the book. I've had enough of rubbing down and painting, but I'm quite happy with that tank. It's come out pretty good. You know, I haven't done any of they're all manufacturer marks that were in it. As I say before, it's, you know, it's 60 years old, so or 64 years this year, so I'm quite happy with that. So what I'm going to do is just take this down and clean up the tape off of it. It's totally dry and gone off, so it's been left for about 25 hours to harden up. And as you can probably already see on the bottom in this light, it's starting to go yellow, which is what I want, an off-white, not a proper white. I'm not going to polish that up because it's not seen anyway, but you could flat it, polish it up, and you know, and have a nice shine on it, but it's pointless. It's just something that's left in there and filled up, as you know. So I'm just going to cut away with that, remove it from the mount. They're only old coat hangers, but I find they're the best thing to hang stuff to dry. And yeah, put the new tap in it, clean up the petrol filler cap. That's the one I'm going with this one. We could put petrol in it and leave it, make sure we've got no leaks anywhere. I might decide to do that in this video, I might not. I'll see how I get on with putting the tap on anyway. I'm just going to cut away for 5 excuse me, and take it from there. Right, changing the petrol tap is very easy. As you know, this is back to front at the moment, but you just basically put a spanner. I use an open-ended spanner on it. You can use the correct size spanner. Just basically undo it then, like so. Very easy job. I mean, look how clean that is. Brilliant. That's after cleaning that tank out. Really impressed with that. So we've got our SIP one now, and it's just a roll reversal basically. So we need to put it in. I need to just bring that down so it's on the middle. And what it does is it's like a double thread. So as one loosens off, the other one tightens up. Yeah, so you just tighten the top one. You can roll it in if you want, spin it around, and just tighten that one up. Let me just put it, I'm not very happy with where that is, so I'm going to bring that down a bit more, like so. Just bring it down a tad more so it's down on the end, make a bit more room for myself. So all you're doing then is screw it in like so, a couple of turns, then we can leave that there and just tighten that one up. So hold on to the the spigot part. I hope I'm not blocking out too much light on this, but that's basically what you're doing now. You want that nice and tight. You also want this level, tiny bit out there, so about there. You can have it slightly in depending on what your petrol tap lever's doing, but that's fine. Don't over tighten that. All you want is just a seal for the petrol. There's the petrol tank lid on it. That's ready basically to go back in the scooter now. So as you know, we cleaned out the inside, and that's absolutely brilliant. I'm really happy with that, like I keep saying. It seems to have a good seal on it. That'll be just left, like I say, till probably Saturday. I'm gonna spray up these, keep repeating myself, but I'm gonna spray up the straps. Right, with the Series 2, I've trying not to move the camera again, I'll try and move it a bit more across. Right, with the Series 2, you've got the blocks that are held in place, and then you've got your 4 rubber blocks that go on your, drop that. The 4 rubber blocks go on the edge of the petrol tank, and I didn't want to drop that one either. Hang on a sec while I get it back. Just got it back again. Really tight for space. I probably should have done this in the garage anyway rather than the shed, but you've got these that hold on the straps. So you've got some that have got the hole in them, which go through all the way up like that, and then you've got the other end which tightens down, it's got a thread on it. I can show you that, like so, so that when you tighten up this nut, or bolt I should say, it basically pulls the strap in so it's nice and tight. The art with a petrol tank is basically getting the fillet to line up on the top hole. Other than that, try and get it nice and straight. When the air box is in, you'll see that there's not a lot of gap with a Series 2, but it is what it is. Strap goes basically under here, across the top, around, and you've got your bolts in at the top. So without holding back anymore, I'm going to get the petrol tank down, which you saw in the first part of this vlog. So there's my petrol tank all sprayed up, and I need to take off the petrol cap while I'm putting this in. So just I'm running out of space basically because the camera's where I need to be. You need to be able to get the turn it around basically so that this slides in, which is a tad more than where I am, and you don't want it to catch on anything because that means chip paint basically. So there we go. So put it in, probably a bit more than what I'm doing there. Let's try it the other way. Go from the front and in and turn it. Like I say, you wouldn't do this with a camera in place anyway, so just making sure that we're in line. Then rotate that, I've already marked. I'm going to have to move the camera out of the way, sorry. Right, so you basically want the petrol tank in like I've done it. It was a bit fiddly, and this tap I could have moved out the way, just was rubbing on here, stopping it from turning, rotating round. So on the blocks you've got cutouts of the where the straps go, so it will actually, you can feel it sitting on them. And then you take a strap, which I've managed to put over there out of the way. one strap at a time, and whichever way you decide to put them around, you know, that way or that way, you basically need to decide where the trunnion that's going to be tightening up is, which is what I'm going to do with this one. It's going to be round tighten one, and this one underneath will be the through screw. So I'll take a through screw, trunnion, that's not, I seem to have a lot of tightening ones and not many through ones. So on this side, because I'm going to go round, that's going to be the tightening trunnion, sorry, the through trunnion, and I need the bolt, so the bolt would go through there. At the moment we just want it so that the head is nice and easy going in, so put it all the way in at an angle. Right, that's quite happy. So what I need to do now is decide where I'm going to put the bends in. And the rubbers. A big rubber at the back, which you can't see, I will show you afterwards, and small rubber at the front, and they basically line up with where the strap's going to come around. So what I need to do is just the top part here, we need it nice and flat, so it looks like that where we're bolting up to, and it needs to come around in the bottom underneath, sorry, through here first because the tap's in the way again. We need to go around there, like so. Hope you can see what I'm doing here, and then that top bit will go across the top and flat, so we need to make a bend about there. I'll bring that up so you can see a bit better on the top, and then we need to bring our strap from the back over the top like so, underneath the rubber. And I've just realised I haven't put the trunnion part in there, but that's not hard to do, just get them and push them in like so. So that needs to go across the top, and again the camera's going to be bang in the way of me doing this, but you basically want them on the top there to be in line and screwing up tight. So I'm going to cut away while I do that again because the camera's in the way again. Right, so hopefully I'm showing you there the nuts at the top. It's all in the groove, and we've got our small rubber at the front and our large rubber at the back. I'll just move the camera so you can see that the large rubber's at the back. What you want is the strap to be in the middle of the rubber, and because I've only got one on at the moment, what I suggest you do is just take the slack out. Don't over tighten this, because what it will do is it will make the petrol tank sitting at an angle. So I won't show doing the other side because it's just tedious filming this while you're doing it, and the camera keeps getting in my way, but that's another story. But I'll get these cables out of the way as well, because down here I've got the cable that goes onto the loom for the fuel level, and the choke's managed to get caught behind the petrol tap, which don't take much to pull that around anyway. That should be under there. I've just noticed this tank is very, or the tap is very close, so you can turn this slightly around. See what I mean? To just give you a bit of space. You don't want the engine, you know, it wants to be about there basically, so the engine's not touching the tap. The tap needs to come in a bit more, but I'll show you that when we do it. Sorry I couldn't show you this better because literally excuse me, the camera is literally sitting where you need to move stuff around. It shows you our yellow, that's the same colour paint, our yellow this has become, got fingerprint marks on it as well. I'll clean that up. Yellow, this has become with the heat of the engine. It's just one of them things, isn't it? But I might take that out yet and spray it. I might leave it because this will go off anyway to match in no time. So all I've got to do now is these trunnions, if I can show you in there, right where my finger is, there's one there and one here, and they just need tightening up so the tank doesn't move then. That's another quite laborious, boring job. But like I said to you, you want them to tighten down so that they're on the top flat part of the tank. There's a flat bit on both sides. And then we'll talk about moving the petrol tap around, basically to match that, to take up that play. So I need that to turn quite a bit in there, because that's roughly where I need it to be. That'll go straight on the end there, and I'm gonna have to find another little Allen key, Allen screw, because I've lost that one. It dropped down there somewhere in the cylinder. It's probably fly out when I'm driving down the road. I'm not taking the cowlings off for one little Allen screw thing that goes on there anyway, so it's what it is. But when we move the tap around, that'll take that slack out of there, and it'll sit over there somewhere at an angle like that, and then we'll be able to turn it on and off. It's just putting it there to show people basically where it's going to go. Put back the cable for the petrol tank is here, and it just plugs in on the spliced in part of the loom. Just push it in. I haven't pushed it in yet, but that's where that goes. I'll dress it nicer than that so you won't see it. I'm going to put a tie wrap on here just to hold up the cables out the way, because I noticed where they've been rubbing there against each other. Well, like I say, you know, this scooter's been restored about, what, 5 years ago now. I've got to tighten up bits and bobs, and I got involved more than I should have done really with taking it apart. So I'm doing the leg shields, repainting them, and I've got some new rear runners for it, and they're all going to go on, and I need to buy a few bits and bobs, simply to you know, the bits that break during the years. I need a new cover for here, and knock the camera. I need a new cover for that. It's got a split in it. It was an original one, but you know, again, 60 years old. I'll go through basically what I've done with this for people who have not seen it before, because this is running a full DC system apart from the Speedo, which has got a normal AC regulator there. So it's AC and DC, a bit like an original Lambretta, but 12 volts with a 12-volt battery that sits in there, as you know. But I'll get round to that. So what I'm going to do now is the boring bit, and just tighten these up. Just use a socket and a small extension, and you know, you probably start off doing it with your hands anyway. And what I do is I try and do both sides. So from where I'm sat now, so do about 5 or 6 on there, and then go to the other side and do 5 and 6 on there. That one's a bit tighter for some reason. It might be because it's the alignment, but yeah. You basically come backwards or forwards between the two trunnions, making sure that the rubbers are nice and held in tight, taking the slack out of this, not too tight. You just want that to hold really nice. I can turn that quite a little bit, probably a bit more than what I'm doing. When it tightens up, it might just pull around slightly and give them a tad more space here. As long as I've got enough room to put the petrol pipe on, and that goes into the carburetor. Might find that that's shorter or longer. That's the one that I had on the original other tap, but I just want, because I've got the SIP Speedo, I just wanted to have all of the bits and bobs on it. So I might even do the electronic Speedo on it as well, rather than the cable. I've done that on a Vespa, and it is 10 times more accurate. And we live in this world at the moment where everybody wants to give you a ticket for going down the road, don't they? So hey ho, that's for the future anyway. But I'm just going to cut away at the moment, tighten up these, and then I'll cut back and show you. Right, so we've got our straps nice and tight, petrol taps on. We've got put a new screw in there, Allen screw, and that's working lovely. We've got off, reserve, on and reserve. I've tightened up the nut and I've moved that away out the way. So I'm just hoping you can see all this. So I've moved that with a spanner inwards. I didn't go too mad with it because it's got, I could probably take it a tad more than that. With the Series 2, they don't seem to, you know, if they're right locked in, they'll just rub against the frame there. And it's not very ideal. So I'm just going to put the airbox in, and then I can dress these cables up out the way so that they don't get hit by this. You have to do these little Allen screws up very tight because they can, you know, the vibrations of a Lambretta, they can become loose and then you can't turn off your petrol. But it's okay if you can't turn it off if you're trying to get home, but if you can't turn it on, you've got to have the panel on, or off I should say, and then turn it manually. But I'm quite happy with that. That's working fine. So all I had in it before, they originally had little bolts in them, but these are stainless steel, that's stainless steel, so it's a hell of a lot more stronger than it would have been originally. So I'm just going to put the airbox back. That is a washer in the top that goes up here in the frame. The airbox then is held in with two Allen bolts. And a gasket underneath that. You've got a gasket here that goes on top, and then you've got your one captive nut in there. So I'm just going to cut away because obviously the camera's going to be in the way again. So next time I show you, this will all be in. I need to free that throttle cable as well because I don't want that being held up by anything there. You know, like cables and whatever, they all need to go over the other side of it like so. That's my battery live. There's my throttle cable just there, choke, running a 22mm, as you probably know from watching previous videos. But so I'm going to cut away, put the airbox on, and I'll cut back in again when that's on. Right, as you can see, the airbox is back in again, the two screws, the gasket's on. There's a bolt underneath there that's captive and 10mm head on it, or a 10mm socket anyway. 5mm thread probably, and I'm quite happy with that. I can't polish this yet because the paint's too new, but as you can see, it's come out pretty well, hasn't it? They've got a cutout on the Series 2 here, so if you ever see an airbox you're not sure what it's for, cut out, because they have bigger tanks in the Series 2 than the Series 3. They're wider, you see, and they've got more room in the panels. So this seam, Series 1, Series 2 petrol tank, the later Series 1 I should say, because the earlier ones had a hole with a tube in them. Great idea that was. But the later ones have got a hole in the filler up here, the filler cap. So all that remains to do at the moment is just put the carburetor on, which is this beast here. I'm just going to check the jets because it's been stood for a while. Clean out the jets, stick that on, connect up the cables to it, put some petrol in the tank, and if it's dry tomorrow I'll fire it up and we'll see how we get on. Yeah. Right, well that's the petrol tank I've cleaned up and inside and out that you've been watching the videos for anyway. So I'm more than happy how that's turned out. You never see them anyway, do you? Let's face it, hidden away. Like I say, I'm going to explain to you what I've done with the electrics on this scooter. It's far from being standard, and means I can drive at night because I've got a nice headlight. As I say, I might even go and go as far as putting the digital speedo on for, you know, the pickup for the speedo, the SIP speedo. So we'll see how that goes anyway. Right, I'm going to end this video here now. Thanks for watching, and sorry it takes a few days, but you know, paint takes time to go off. That will take weeks before it hardens off anyway. I'm just going to clean up a bit, give it a polish on the top, get rid of some of these rubber marks from the seat, and put the seat down, and like I say, put some petrol in it in a minute, and hopefully tomorrow we'll fire it up. Take care everybody, bye for now.